The CEO said I'd never win. One document turned the case upside down. The day I was fired, the CEO himself stopped me in the lobby. He leaned in close, smirked, and said, "You'll never win. Don't waste your money, don't waste your time. You'll never beat me." For weeks, I believed him. He was rich, powerful, untouchable. I was broke, humiliated, and ready to disappear. But then, one overlooked document, just one, flipped the entire case upside down. Before I tell you how that document saved me, hit subscribe to Lawful Payback so you don't miss the next story. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. My name is Laura Jensen, 42, from Minneapolis, Minnesota. For almost a decade, I worked at BlueStone Dynamics, a fast-growing tech firm. I was the director of compliance. Not glamorous, but critical. My job was making sure contracts followed the law, that projects met safety standards, that we didn't cut corners. For years, I was loyal. I worked weekends, canceled vacations, even skipped my daughter's recital once because a vendor deadline couldn't wait. The CEO, Richard Halden, didn't care. He cared about winning. At any cost. It all started when I flagged a vendor contract that didn't meet federal standards. I told him, "Richard, this will never pass compliance. If regulators check, we'll be fined." He slammed his fist on the table. "Do you have any idea how much delay will cost us?" "I know, but..." "Sign it. Or I'll find someone who will." I refused. 2 weeks later, HR summoned me. "Your position has been eliminated. Effective immediately. No severance. No payout of my unused vacation. Just a cardboard box." As I left, Halden leaned in with that smirk. "You'll never win." At first, I tried to move on. I told myself, this happens. Find another job. But every interview went cold. Recruiters stopped calling. My inbox filled with rejections. Then the bills came. Rent, $1,400. Car payment, $320. Credit card, $600. My account had $387. I called Bluestone's HR about my unused vacation, almost $5,000. They told me, "You forfeited it due to termination for cause." For cause? What cause? I've never been written up. "I'm sorry, Ms. Jensen. That's the policy." Click. I thought about lawyers. But Halden's words echoed, "You'll never win." He had teams of attorneys. I had nothing. Nights were the worst. I'd lie awake staring at the ceiling. My daughter, Emily, tiptoed in one night and asked, "Mom, are we gonna be okay?" I forced a smile. Of course. But inside, I didn't believe it. I sank fast. One Friday, I sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by bills. Rent overdue. Utilities threatening shut off. My fridge half empty. I considered pawning my mother's necklace. It was all I had left of her. I stared at job boards. Sent 50 applications. 0 replies. In my mind, I could see Halden at a cocktail party laughing. She'll never work in this city again. I avoided friends. I ignored family calls. Shame ate me alive. Then came the worst moment. Emily needed new shoes for school. She brought me a flyer. "Mom, can I get these?" I looked at the price tag, $46. I froze. I couldn't afford $46. That night, she heard me crying in the bathroom. She hugged me and whispered, "It's okay, Mom. I don't need them." That broke me. I even thought about filing for bankruptcy. I felt like a failure, not just as an employee, but as a mother. I almost gave up. But while sorting old files for my resume portfolio, I found something buried. Bluestone Employee Benefits Guide, 2017 edition. I flipped to the section on termination. In black and white. Employees terminated without cause are entitled to payout of all accrued vacation, regardless of circumstances. Signed at the bottom, Richard Halden, CEO. The next morning, I marched into the office of Michael Tran, a local employment lawyer. His office was modest, above a hardware store. He wore a wrinkled tie, but his eyes sharpened as he read the document. "Laura, this is gold. This isn't a suggestion. This is a contractual promise, with his signature. If you were fired without cause, they owe you that payout. But they marked me for cause." He grinned. "Then we prove that's a lie." We filed suit for wrongful termination and unpaid wages. BlueStone's lawyers hit back immediately. Sleek suits, arrogant smirks. They mocked me as disgruntled. Filed motion after motion. Tried to drown us in paperwork. For months, it felt hopeless again. Every hearing leaned their way. Even Michael muttered once, "We're hanging by a thread." Then, during discovery, we got something explosive. An internal HR memo. It said, "Reclassify terminations as for cause to avoid vacation payouts." It was dated 2 weeks before I was fired. My heart pounded. They weren't just targeting me. This was systemic fraud. Trial week was brutal. BlueStone's lawyers painted me as difficult, rigid, someone who couldn't adapt to company culture. Executives testified I slowed projects down. Then Halden himself took the stand. Confident. Arrogant. He told the jury, "Miss Jensen didn't fit our culture. We had to let her go. It's that simple." When I testified, their lawyer grilled me. "Isn't it true you refused to sign off on contracts?" "Yes, because they were unsafe." "Isn't it true you were combative with leadership?" I stood up for the law. I was shaking, but I didn't back down. Then Michael dropped the hammer. First, he showed the benefits guide. "Mr. Halden, is this your signature?" Halden squirmed. "Yes." "And does it say employees terminated without cause get vacation payout?" "It appears to." Then came the HR memo. Michael read it aloud. "Reclassify terminations as for cause to avoid vacation payouts." The jury gasped. Even the judge raised his eyebrows. "Mr. Halden," Michael pressed, "did you authorize this policy?" Halden stammered. I don't recall." Michael leaned closer. "Do you expect this jury to believe your HR department invented this on their own?" The room was silent. Halden's face turned red. The defense tried to object again, but the judge snapped, overruled. "The evidence is clear." Jurors exchanged glances. I could see it in their faces. They knew the truth. The jury deliberated for 2 tense hours. When they returned, the foreman stood. "We find in favor of the plaintiff." The judge awarded me $5,000 vacation payout, $65,000 in damages, plus attorney's fees. When the gavel struck, I cried. Not just for the money, but for the vindication. Emily hugged me, whispering, "I knew you'd win, Mom." Outside, reporters swarmed. Halden stormed past them, face red, refusing questions. For me, the victory was life-changing. I paid the bills, fixed the car, and bought Emily those shoes and more. But the real prize was dignity. The ripple effects spread fast. Other ex-employees came forward with the same story. Michael's office was flooded with calls. Within 6 months, BlueStone settled multiple cases quietly. Halden's reputation cracked. One former coworker emailed me, "Laura, because you stood up, I had the courage to file too." That message meant more than the check. Halden had said, "You'll never win." But the truth is I did. Now, when I drive past BlueStone's glittering tower, I don't feel anger. I feel pride. Because I fought back. And one overlooked document, signed by Halden himself, brought his arrogance crashing down. If you believe in fighting back when corporations think they're untouchable, subscribe to Lawful Payback. The next story will shock you even more.